Let's get into creating this soft look, shall we?
Caught me at the right time, baby. Oh, I was at the end. Made me feel like that.
So I'm gonna start off with my eyes today. I'm going to clean my eyebrows with the Kevin Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer in the shade SX12. And I'm gonna go ahead and apply some concealer to prime my eyelids. I'm using the Too Faced concealer in the shade Butterscotch, and I'm gonna buff that out with my Real Techniques brush. I'm also going to set that concealer in with some Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder, just to make sure the concealer doesn't crease and to make sure the eyeshadow appears really nicely on the lid, just to create a fresh canvas for the eyeshadow we are going to be applying today. I'm using my Jackie Aina x Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palette, and I went in with that dark brown shade there. Credit, I'm gonna put that all over my eyelids with a flat brush. And then I'm going to go ahead and buff the edges with a fluffy brush and then go ahead into the shade Ginger. I'm gonna put that into my crease just to blend out the edges of the dark brown that I used earlier so that we have a nice gradient going. You can also use your bronzer for this step if you do not have a light brown shade for your crease. So you can use a dark I'm also going ahead to buff the foundation further into my skin with my Real Techniques sponge. I'm using a damp sponge, meaning I put it under running water and I squeeze out all the excess water, and then I proceed to squeeze it in a towel or a paper towel to make sure that all the excess water is out of it. I'm using two concealers today, the Too Faced Born This Way concealers in the shade Warm Sand and Butterscotch. I'm gonna put that underneath my eyes, the bridge of my nose, my mustache area, my chin, and my forehead. While I allow the concealer to sit so that it gets tacky, I'm gonna go ahead and apply my cream bronzer. I'm using a stick foundation from Juvia's Place in the shade Sokoto. I'm still gonna let the concealer sit while I blend out my contour. Allowing my concealer to sit just gives me the best coverage and it just makes everything so seamless. But you should be aware that if your concealer dries down matte, you shouldn't let it sit too long. This concealer is moisturizing and it doesn't dry down matte, so I love how it just comes out when it sits on my skin for long. So I buffed out my contour with my contour brush from Real Techniques. And then I'm gonna go ahead and buff my concealer in with my Real Techniques brightening brush. Also going back in with my Real Techniques sponge to do some extra blending to take off any excesses and just to make sure everything is appearing seamless. I'm going back in with my foundation brush to blend out the edges of my under eye area just to make sure all the harsh lines are blended into my skin. I go back in with my foundation brush with no extra product, by the way. And then I go back in with my contour brush to make sure the contour is still sitting. You don't need any extra product to do this step. Now I'm going ahead to blend out the contour on the sides of the bridge of my nose. I usually don't do cream contour on my nose, but today I felt like doing it, so of course I went ahead to do that. for setting powder, I'm going back in with the one from Huda that I used earlier. I'm going in with my sponge as well, and I'm going to push it under my under eye and everywhere else that I applied concealer to. I also like to go back in with a light layer of setting powder over my entire face to set my entire face. You can definitely skip this step if you feel like it's too much for you, but I definitely love how it makes my skin feel and look. For the rest of my face, I'm gonna go back in with another powder. This is the airbrush powder from Tilbury in the shade 3. I'm gonna push that into my skin lightly with a big brush from Juvia. I'm also going in with my Fenty Beauty Sunstalker bronzer in the shade Cocoa Nutty. I'm gonna go over where I applied my cream contour too, just to make sure that the bronzer or the contour is sitting. I definitely like to do cream contour and bronzer. On some days I just skip the cream contour step altogether. Today I just felt like doing full glam, so definitely I went in with both. I'm also going over the contour on the sides of the bridge of my nose. You guys know that I definitely do not joke with my nose contour. So I'm going back in with my setting powder to bake and to clean up the sides of the bridge of my nose. Some of you are so worried about me baking, but I definitely enjoy baking. I find that baking makes my skin look flawless, makes my makeup last, and I feel like the way I bake works for me. So you can definitely try my technique. If it works for you, definitely stick to it. And some of you might be wondering why I put a little bit of powder on the sides of my mouth. It's just to set the product there so that my smile lines don't crack through during the day. Now I'm going ahead to fill my brows in with the Evita Joseph Espet brow liner in the shade Rich Espresso. So I'm going ahead to tightline my eyes with a dark pencil. This is how I tightline. I put the pencil in between my eyelids and I go back and forth. Do not push the pencil too hard. It just makes everything really, really easy. And I'm going in with the shade Credit to smoke out the bottom lash line so that it matches my eyeshadow. So unfortunately, I lost some of the footage from this video, so kindly pardon me. This is how I applied my lip color. I went ahead to contour my lips with a liquid lipstick from Fenty Beauty in the shade Unveil, and I went ahead to line my lips with my ultra lip liner from Nuban Beauty in the shade J10. For the center of my lip, I'm going in with my Charlotte Tilbury matte lipstick in the shade Super Fabulous. This is a gorgeous brown. I really love this shade. I absolutely stole this lipstick from my sister, and it's just an amazing shade. So yeah, this is how the look turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.